From Idaho's News Channel 7, this is Friday Night Football.
Well, it is so good to be back. Week one officially of Friday Night Football is finally here, and I'll be honest, last night I think a lot of us didn't think it was going to happen, but they scrambled to reschedule some things. Some games got pushed out to the west, and luckily we have a solid slate of great season opening matchups for you tonight. Let's dive into this one, and we're going to start it out over at Homedale High School, which I know a lot of people refer to as the Donna Larson Park of Owyhee County. Boise taking on Capital. Capital told us that their thing this year was going to be leaning on their run game. Here's a slow, methodical drive, but on fourth down, they had to go through the air. They do connect, and they get a fresh set of downs, and that's a good thing, too, because that sets up Marcellus Clay for the 29-yard rushing touchdown. By the way, that opening drive took 7.5 minutes, but this game would turn out to be a shootout, and it was a chippy one. End of the first quarter, Trevor Schoolfield rolling out, escapes the pressure. Somehow he's able to fit that pass in. He even drew a roughing the passer penalty, and it would not take long after that. Logan McDonald runs it in from the 1-yard line. Boise would take a 7-6 lead. Later on, Capital would come in with the immediate answer, and this game, like I said, really turned into a shootout. Things started to get crazy. Take a look at this fake. Braden Duddle sneaks it over to Xander Glow, and it fools the entire defense. He gets the run right up the middle, 80 yards to the house, and they would continue to ride that momentum. They had their fans going absolutely nuts. Later on in the quarter, the defense gets them the ball back quickly, and Dudley hits Elliott Schrack in the corner of the end zone to keep on stretching that lead. Capital takes an 18-7 advantage. It's crazy. We went from 1 touchdown in the first quarter to 4 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes of this second quarter. Well, this one just wrapped up. Josiah Brennan hit a 31-yard field goal for Boise to win it 36-33. It's crazy. Last-second field goals are kind of going around tonight. You'll find out more about that in a second. But I'll say it, despite the loss, it looks like Capital has finally taken that next step forward.
And so we kind of all share the same things, and we know that like our home field is 3 other schools' home fields, and we just look and say, hey, this is an awesome opportunity, and what all of us want is to own the city.
I think they're going to be rather explosive on the offensive side and capable of making lots of plays, and so that's going to be quite the matchup week one, where they're going to, offensive oriented, we're defensive oriented.
Like, we want to start by beating the teams in our city so that you have that bragging right. And so again, Borah has been another just traditional. It's been around forever, and they've hung tons of banners. They've been successful in the last few years. They've kind of been the power within this area. I mean, and so for us to start out the gate and get to play Borah, and we respect everything they do coaching wise. They do a great job. Their energy is going to be huge, and so for us, we have to match that energy. And so our guys know it, and you kind of see that energy has to be contagious within our program in order to match that.
A tremendous rivalry, and this is how we officially started up the 6A SIC schedule. Borah taking on Timberline. This one also at Homedale, and the fans made the trip out too. While the Wolves would strike first, Jack Lewis airs it out to the corner of the end zone. Hudson comes down with it, gets his feet down for the first T-line touchdown of the year. He decides to go with the crane pose for the first celebration of the year. Well, Timberline led 7-0 at half, but Borah made some big-time adjustments. First off, they blocked a punt. Booker Barris took it all the way back for the touchdown, and then maybe that woke up the offense a little bit. Dylan Lukengay airs it out, a moonshot. Ryan Lopez coming down with it, says, "Get off me," to the defender, and then just does a little trot into the end zone. Suddenly, Borah is in business. They would take a 14-7 lead. Well, Timberline wasn't done yet. They drive down into the red zone. This time, how about that Borah defense stepping up to the plate? They pressure the quarterback. Austin Flaherty pokes the ball free. John Cerrone takes it in, gets a chance to put on that turnover chain. But I'll tell you what, this one was far from over. It went down to the wire, but Timberline would go on to win it 24-22. Like I said, another field goal kicked as time expired to give T-Line the win. All right, and with that, the Borah Lions join us now in studio. We appreciate you guys coming in. Sorry about the tough loss to start the season, but man, what a battle it was. Why don't you guys tell me what it felt like to get out on the field tonight?
Yeah, it was good getting out there after a long off season. We've been working hard all summer, and this is what we've been working towards. And obviously, it didn't go the way we planned, but we plan to pick that up and move forward and, tweak the little things that we need to work on.
I really love Homedale High School's football field. I think it's an awesome environment. I love that the fans, the student section kind of overflows out of the stands and is on the field with you. What was it like to be able to get out and play in a new environment? I know that the fight for downtown Boise is what all these 4-team rivalry games are all about. But what was it like to shake things up a little bit and, I guess just get a chance to play tonight instead of having to wait till next week or tomorrow?
Yeah, it was a huge blessing just to be able to play today, because dealing with all the smoke and everything. So it was cool to be able to go out there, and we just appreciate Highland or Homedale using our field. And yeah, it was just a huge blessing.
Definitely. So you guys told me, it's all about looking to the future. It always is. What do you guys take from a loss tonight and look forward, shape up? What are some of the adjustments you guys can make so that the next time you're in a close game, you guys are on the top of the scoring column?
I think, there was a lot of good and bad coming out tonight, and obviously didn't end the way we wanted to. But for us, it's all about, what can we do this next play? Like, we got to flush in, we got to look to the next play. And so, yeah, we're just focused on next week now, and obviously that's a bummer, but it's just going to make us more hungry. So.
There was no shortage of hype on the Borah sideline and on the field. I hear you guys have a special guy who is a little bit in charge of that. I'm sure he has other jobs as an assistant coach, but that's one of the big pieces that he brings to the table. And Don's a pretty important piece of equipment for you guys as well before exchanging it to the deserving Lion who's earned it.
Yeah, that would be Coach Meldrum. He's definitely a firecracker for our team. He gets us going when we're down, and even when we're up, he's there for us. And he's just kind of that energy guy that'll always get us going no matter what. And we're very blessed to have him on the team and just for him to push us and make us better no matter what. And yeah, he's definitely been a highlight for us this summer and going into week 1.
So I know Borah, one of the oldest schools in the Treasure Valley, one of the most storied programs in the Treasure Valley. Those things like the turnover chain, I think you guys said that the turnover cap is also a new one. I know, Austin, you didn't get a chance to wear the chain because you forced the fumble and then had to go play offense immediately after. Unfortunate. But how fun is it to have those things as just a little extra thing to keep you guys hyped up and keep you striving for even more every time you're out on the field?
It's really fun. It's just something to look forward to after you force a turnover, or just something to get everyone hyped for, to build momentum with that. Forcing a turnover is a big thing for a game, and it can change the momentum of a game.
Definitely. I mean, no shortage of turnovers tonight, including a forced fumble recovery, and a blocked punt, which I really do apologize that I missed your blocked punt because it's deja vu. This time last year, we had Borah in studio again, and it was me apologizing to Jevin Nelson because he took a kick return 100 yards all the way back. I didn't have the camera on my shoulder in time, so congrats that you get to continue a storied legacy of special teams, big-time plays that unfortunately are missed by KTVB. I apologize, but tell me the emotions of that play and how much of a momentum shifter it was for your guys.
No, it's all good. It happens, but
you're too kind.
Yeah, I couldn't have done it without Austin Flaherty here because he's the one who blocked it, and then I just saw the ball, so I was like, I had to go make a play, so I picked the ball up. I just went to the end zone, and then I feel like it changed the momentum of the game. It got everyone hyped, so I think it was really a momentum changer of the game.
Oh, absolutely. And it got the fans hyped. It got, I would say, Timberline, shaking a little bit to even it up in that sense. I mentioned Javon Nelson, one of the greatest running backs that we saw in the SIC last season. Obviously, in the cycle of players graduating and moving on to bigger things post-high school, that's common. We also missed out on Trevor McKenna, although I know he was there on the sideline cheering you guys on tonight, coming back and watching you guys continue a storied legacy. How do you make up for a massive playmaker on the offensive side of the ball and then another one on the defensive side of the ball as you guys continue to push forward this season?
Yeah, those are the type of guys that aren't really replaceable, that had a top rusher and someone who led the whole SIC and sacks. So, those are guys that are going to continue to be dogs at the next level. But there was guys this year that weren't as known, I'd say, and they're really stepping up and not replacing them, but paving their own path for our offense and our defense.
Absolutely. So you guys said, oh, sorry, we got one more?
Yeah, I just want to add to that. I also think, like, those guys are, like, not replaceable. Like, they're special players. And I think we just got to use everyone on the field. Like, I got my great receiving core behind me and a couple other guys. And then defensively, everyone on the field is making plays, getting theirs. And so you may be losing one or two players that are stars, but you're still replacing them with multiple players that can make plays anytime.
And I think that really shows with your guys' roster. You really do share the ball well, and you never know who's going to step up and make a big play.
Yeah.
So as we take a look to the future, because we said it's all about the future, we look to next week. You guys take on Valley View. Much respect to their program, but I know that's not the one that you might have had circled since last offseason. Week 3 is really when things get fun. You guys take on the arch rival, the Capital Eagles. The quote that JQ Kenyon gave me last year when we were doing our previews talking about this game was that, you know, it's a storied rivalry and guys have put it all out there. They've been playing with broken limbs. They've been losing their kidneys out on the field. I don't think it goes that far necessarily, but tell me about what this matchup means to you and what you guys saw from Capital tonight. I think they looked pretty good.
Yeah, you know, those city champs, those city rivalry games are always super fun, and especially a school like Capital where there's a lot of history behind it. And, you know, we just come out there and we just try to, with any team we play, really, we're just trying to, you know, win, obviously, but take it play by play, drive by drive. And, you know, Capital is definitely one of those where, you know, that Monday going to that week, it just feels a little different. Practice just feels a little more intent. And so it's going to be cool to see those guys play and play against those guys too. And, yeah, we just look forward to that game.
And then, of course, week 5, Boise. I mean, you guys get all the big ones, all the heavy hitters basically every other week to start off your season. You know, one of the greatest stories of last year was them making the playoffs for the first time in decades. They look pretty good. Trevor Schoolfield definitely can sling it. They got some big playmakers. What do you see about those guys as well?
Yeah, Boise's got a great team this year, and they're looking forward to playing us like we're looking forward to play them. It's going to be a big game, and we're excited and ready to go. They have a great team, and we saw them in a Boise State camp, and things got a little chippy, but it's going to be a good game with them.
I would also just like to say, you know, last year we kind of ended on a bad note in that game, and I just say that we got to, you know, bounce back from that, let them know who we are, and just keep on playing our game and, you know, getting ready for them as well.
Of course. I think that's all the questions that I do have. Do we want to wrap this up by giving a shout out to our Borah super fan, John Anderson, as always?
Yes, sir. Yes, of course.
John.
Shout out, John.
Yeah,
yes,
shout
sir.
out to John, always. One of the best faces, smiling faces on the sideline to see. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for coming in here, being our first. Oh, you got what you got? What you got?
Yeah, I just want to say, coming off tonight, obviously not the results we wanted, but I believe God has a plan for this team and this group of individuals. So don't write us off yet. Is all I got to say.
Oh,
big things planned ahead.
It'd be a massive mistake to write you guys off. I'm sold. I'm ready for you guys to bounce back against Valley View, and I've got the. You guys might have the Capital Borah rivalry game circled, but I'll tell you what. We definitely have it circled, and we look forward to that as one of the best atmospheres. Excited to see you guys get back onto Donald Larson Park soon. But for now, thanks so much for joining us. We always appreciate it. All right, we're going to jump ahead to one from Thursday night, the home opener for the Skyview Hawks. If we can roll that video. They were looking to bounce back after suffering a shutout from Minico last week, and that home crowd has them hyped up to take on Pocatello. First quarter, the Hawks in the red zone. Quarterback Dakota Dodge keeps it for himself, breaks up the middle, and then out to the left. He pounds his way in. It's the first Skyview TD of the season. He's fired up. Hey, I don't blame him. That was a crazy play. We switched sides, but guess what? The Pocatello quarterback, he can move as well. Look at this run from Taven Williams. He gets some great blocks, swerves his way all the way inside the 10-yard line, and they finally get him down. But the Skyview defense holds firm. We go to 4th down, 7 yards from the goal line. Pokey's going to go for it. Mason Cron hyping the crowd up, maybe hyping himself up as well, too. Williams rolls out to the right, and Cron is there to put him in the dirt. He forces the turnover on downs. Cron is a beast, committed to play for the Idaho Vandals after he graduates. Still more to take care of here in Nampa. More from him in a second. First, look at this play right here, absorbing the hit and getting Pocatello right back into scoring territory. Man, things were getting crazy. Once again, Skyview holds on for another 4th down. They bring the pressure. Williams shows off that elusiveness. Eventually, he's just out of time. He's just got to throw it up. The pass is deflected, but the wide receiver is there on the rebound, and he's in the end zone. We get all tied up. Well, it wouldn't take long for Skyview to answer. I told you we would see this guy again, Mason Cron. This time, he's on offense. Breaking out down the sideline, showing off that college speed. He hurdles a man. Somehow, he stays on his feet to reach their end zone. The Vandals are getting a good one. Head coach Jason Eck and his staff know how to pick them, let me tell you that. But I'll tell you what else. Pocatello would pull ahead to win this one. It went down to the wire. A great Thursday night game, but it's the Thunder taking it 29-23. Hey, back to present day. We jump out to Fruitland. We have a barn burner. The Grizzlies leading the Emmett Huskies 21-13 at the half, looking to extend their lead. Titus Vidlac fumbles the snap, but he recovers, looks downfield where he finds Joel Philpott at the 10-yard line and gets them into scoring position. A little bit later, Vidlac takes the snap. He doesn't really see anything he likes, but he runs down the field, and he's about to get hit, so he throws off the nice jump pass to Coy Kaufman. The Grizzlies extend their lead 28-13. Emmett would fall in this one, their first loss of the season. Fruitland takes it 35-21. Jordan Gross has his guys ready to go out in Fruitland. We jump over to Payette. The Parma Panthers facing off with the Payette Pirates. Penalty flags were kind of the story in this one. Things get a little bit chippy after the offseason. Both teams having a little rust, needed to be shaken off. Here's Darren Pecunia making something off of a bad snap. He finds Michael Ocampo in the end zone. But guess what? Penalty flags actually called that touchdown back. Heartbreaking. Next play, Pecunia decides to run the ball in himself. He evades some tackles along the way. Gets all the way in. And then penalties call that one back. It's unfortunate. In the second quarter, Pecunia is able to show off how elusive he can be with the ball in his hands. He evades a couple tackles, dives through the pylon, and third time is a charm. No, it's not. It's not. There were penalties on this one too, but the ref does put the ball at the 1. The Pirates muscle the ball into the end zone, and they go up by 7 points near the end of the half. Hey, they would go up much more than that in this one. Payette takes it 47-6. And let's head over to Parma High School, where we've got another great matchup, another great field, except it's Declo and Nampa Christian facing off in this one. A nice start for Nampa Christian. Look at this run. Ian Johnson breaking out, putting guys in the spin cycle, breaks a number of tackles before they finally bring him down. By the way, you heard that right. His name is Ian Johnson. They really should try running statue left for him. The drive would stall out on 4th and 1. They knock on the door of the red zone, so they go for it. It's beyond the sticks. It's a good look, but Declo's Keston Coyle is there to break it up and force the turnover on downs. They switch sides. Declo gets out to the fastest start imaginable. I mean, look at it. Look how fast this kid is. That's Bodie Backenbury breaking down the sideline. An 80-yard touchdown on the very first play from scrimmage. They go up 6-0 after a failed PAT. Nampa Christian trying to answer back, throwing it down midfield. They toss up a jump ball, but Declo's defense has the positioning. They pick it off, and they start driving down the field, nearly in scoring position once again. This time, how about that Nampa Christian defense stepping up? Nice run is cut short with the strip, and then it's Thomas Duer picking it up, getting a nice run back to go with it. In the end, though, Declo would hold on to that hot start. They go on to win it 28-7. All right, you can find all the final scores from around the state right now at KTVB.com, but here's a couple that we're looking at. Mountain View heading east to play in Holt Arena. The Rocky Mountain Rumble, they took down a team from Utah, Woods Cross, 24-21. Moscow really turning things around. They start the season off with a 54-0 victory. Mountain Home falls to Minico, 55-16. Minico looks good this year. McCall Donnelly taking a 49-7 win over Wood River. Jerome falls to Gooding, 34-6. Buell and Weiser, that was a Thursday night game. Crazy, a lot of field goals. Buell takes it 9-6. Burley blanks Century 30-0. Burley's definitely one to watch this season. And then actually, I can't see that Notice Tri-Valley one. Can we remove the bug for a second? There we go. 38-32. Tri-Valley wins that one.
It's going to be nice for years to come if they keep it going to always start off the season with a nice little rivalry to get the energy flowing in the school and creating school pride from the start.
They have an awesome home crowd, they always do. So we get to go into a hostile environment and it's a battle of West Ada, and I know that they're bought in and they're feeling really good again year 2. So we know we're gonna come out, we're gonna get their best shots.
We're excited to be part of it, and I think it just brings more excitement to the football game, something that we get to play for and see what happens.
This game is a little bit personal between the two teams because of the coaching and the coaching staff moves, but you cannot ignore that.
There's a little bit more motive coming into the game. I mean, the entire coaching staff for Hawaii's old Centennial coaches. So I mean, like I've played for a lot of them. It brings a little more energy to the table, I think, a little more fight, a little more fire.
Expectations will be high and the energy will be high as well, and I think that we're going to come out and ball out, and Centennial's a great team. We'll be prepared.
It's always fun for rivalry games. I think we're just ready to go over there and work our hardest, dominate, and see what the outcome is.
I'm just really excited for the opportunity to go out and compete with my friends. I think it's going to be a great game, and I think the energy is going to be great, really high.
So like we mentioned, plenty of games actually did not get to kick off tonight because the smoke and the air quality was not good, not healthy to play sports in out here in the Boise Meridian area, and there just weren't enough fields for them to get going. That was one of them. The Crimson Cup, a new rivalry between Owyhee and Centennial. I don't know why it's called the Crimson Cup. My best guess is that Owyhee is red, Centennial, of course, is that rich maroon, and maybe those mixed together. Nobody knew for sure, but that again would be my best guess. Let's take a look at some postponed games that are rescheduled. If we could go back to that one, Kuna is going to face Rocky Mountain at Rocky Mountain High School at 11 a.m. Actually, sorry, at Homedale High School. Owyhee will be taking on Centennial at Centennial High at 1 o'clock. Eagle heading to Meridian tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Prime time. Fitting. It was what you guys voted for game of the week. And then Nampa will be taking on Middleton at 7 o'clock. So if we take a look at the games that are postponed, actually they were canceled. Most of these will not be made up, or at least we don't have confirmation that these will be made up at this time. That includes Twin Falls at Valley View, Ridgeview at Canyon Ridge. Devastated we don't get to see the Battle of the Ridges. Horseshoe Bend at Wilder, and Garden Valley versus Idaho City. So thanks so much for joining us here for our week 1 of Friday Night Football. Of course, we wish it was a little bit bigger. A shout out to the fire crews who are fighting the fire in Stanley. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to have plenty more. You can head on to the KTVB YouTube page. We'll have these highlights and more, all commercial free. You can rewatch that great interview with the Borah Lions in studio. And of course, join us tomorrow at 9 a.m. on KTVB Channel 7 to watch Bronco Roundup Game Day. Jay and I have been working hard to get you ready for kickoff against Georgia Southern. For now, from our great crew, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.